Welcome to the Agency Navigators podcast. I'm Roe.
I'm Doug.
And today we have a very special guest.
Hello, everyone. I am Lauren from Kite Technology Group.
We are so excited to have you join us, Lauren. This was an idea Don had a couple of years ago, how Agency CFO and Kite Technology Group could really work together for the betterment of our agency partners. We've become close with Lauren. Not only has she helped our agency partners, she's done training within our own team. So this has been a super exciting journey for us.
Absolutely. And Lauren's here to really talk about three big ideas that we see repeatedly that will help move your agency forward.
Anything to kick us off, Lauren, before I start with the first one?
Absolutely. I'm just so excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me. And I'm excited to share some fun ideas or maybe a little bit sensitive topic today.
Nothing off the table, because we are all about making our agency partners better because that makes us better. So
Absolutely.
of the three things, we always chat before we do a recording. And this really came out as, it's a buzzword. It's been a buzzword forever. And it's one thing that is really critical to the whole integration in just getting your agency well run, well managed, and really the goals and what you want to do. And it's change management. So from an agency CFO perspective, whether it's Don and the team on financials or if I'm advising some of the executives, we're always talking about how to change, where to go next. Lauren, you have a really good take on change management or the lack thereof.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as an agency consultant, I work with clients across the country that are in multiple different types of projects that we help them with. So, we work to help an agency optimize and create standards and establish procedures in their agency where they may have been using an established agency management system. And we also help agencies who are moving from one agency management system to the other. A lot of times when we do these projects, they're going to go one way or the other. And we see it all the time. We've got, I've got some that I keep calling my favorite clients right now. I won't name them. But my favorite clients are the ones that stay really engaged. They listen to, what information that we're sharing. This is an investment that they are making to have a consultant come in and establish best practices. And they're really taking advantage of that. They're learning, they're conveying that information, they're communicating with their team. When we give them homework, they do the homework. And then they come back and they'll come into trainings. I was sitting in a training the other day, and I'm just always so amazed. I'm just shadowing this project, honestly. But I come out of this meeting and they're like, we were just so excited. We learned so much. The team is really excited to be better and to grow as an agency and be more efficient. But there's other situations, other projects that I hear about with my team where they're saying, we're giving this information out, we're presenting information, but it just doesn't seem to stick. And a lot of times it's because there's not any change management in place. Leadership isn't really being present in these meetings. They don't have a good point person that is really able to convey these messages and provide that change management. So, while they're saying, hey, can you fix all of this for us? Well, we really can't. It's a two-way street, right? And anytime I talk to an agency owner and they say, what's going to make this project successful? And I say, it's going to be change management. You have to invest your time and effort into really catching on to this project. You have to be invested in, this is what we're doing. This is what we're excited about. I had one that was going from, an outdated agency management system to a new one. And he just had everybody so excited. That's the first migration, honestly, I've ever done that went so smoothly that I was not blowing smoke, so to speak, when I'm talking to the agency management. I said, this guy that you have on your team has kept everybody excited. He even told me, he said, there were no tears. There was nobody got upset. Everybody's worked together. And it's all because he kept that positive motivation. This is where we're going. So, there's just two completely different ways that it can go. I don't often see anything that falls in the middle.
No, that's a fair point. It is the attitude. It is the investment. If it's an afterthought, then the employees are going to treat it as an afterthought. And it is the agency management system. It is at the core of all functions. We need to approach it with, as you like to say, what gets measured gets managed.
Yeah, change.
Yeah, you got to measure it. You got to process it.
Change takes effort.
Yeah,
and,
it's not easy.
And that effort has to be managed and it has to be led. And it takes all those components.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that is such a great tip when approaching anything within an agency, but especially a management system. It is not just plug and play. It is a large change, and we have to think of it from the human level of the employees on the front line who are fielding the client calls and doing the renewals and working on retention and all of that, to now they have to relearn what they've done maybe for years.
Yeah.
Don't take it for granted.
Right. Absolutely.
So, in talking this through, we led naturally into the second one, which was right person, right seat. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times folks, want us to, can you train? Well, first of all, a lot of times we fix things first. So we fix things, establish these procedures, and then we train. And if we train and folks aren't getting it, obviously, we'll do some refreshers and things like that. But, I see so many times where agencies say, well, this person's been doing it their way forever, so we're not going to change their way. But once that's not the right way, when it comes to things like your financials of all things, you want that data to be correct. You want to limit and eliminate any type of E&O exposures. And when you just let these folks who, maybe you feel like they've been around forever and they're just such a great person, that's awesome. But if they can't do the job, if they're not in the right seat, then ultimately you're going to have failure and you're going to keep spinning your wheels and spending more money and doing more cleanup and more cleanup and more cleanup. It's just going to keep happening. And I can think of multiple situations where I've seen that happen. I've even told folks before, you probably shouldn't train until you decide to hire somebody else, because it's not going to get you anywhere. And this is one of those sensitive topics that a lot of times, we talk about internally, but it's really hard to convey that to an agency owner.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting, Lauren, is you talked about the agency owners telling you, well, they've always done it that way. We've heard that as well. Here's the thing. When you let somebody do it the way they've always done it, the other team members see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it becomes a poison pill.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks suffer and they complain. A lot of times they'll say, are we recording this?
When you're doing your calls with them, yeah.
So-and-so just gets to get away with murder or whatever the case is.
We have all heard it.
Yeah. And it breaks my heart for those folks that really want to do the right thing. They really are invested in following processes and procedures, but they struggle. And a lot of times even that for person's work falls on them too. So, it really is, it's kind of sad.
And it is the employee disengagement. It is one of the number one problems with the American workforce. Gallup does their annual survey on it. We've talked about it before, but this is how it happens. It's these little paper cuts of, well, they've always done it that way. Or, you know what? They're so busy, let them be. They don't need this training.
And as third parties, I always say we come in with a little bit of a different viewpoint. When we meet a team, we don't have any past history or emotional connections. Yeah. And sometimes I think it's ownership and leadership sometimes doesn't even realize how emotionally attached in these sensitivities, they've developed these sensitivities over the years.
They're too close to it.
They're too close to it. And I think that's one of the great values that we all bring is a outside perspective. Sometimes it's a clean slate, and sometimes they're surprised. But I agree, success is often impossible if you don't have the right people in the right seat.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then, the next thing you know, we've got a fire and, hey, can you guys fix this again? I'm like, again?
Again. And what we get, again, you get that, and we get the, oh yeah, this person just left. And it's either one, they didn't want to do change management, or two, they were the good employee that just had enough of it and left.
Yeah.
There's two scenarios there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, just thinking through all of the experiences I've had, another really big challenge when you have those folks that have just been kind of doing it their own way for a while is when they do leave. And especially if they don't have time to train the new person coming in or whatever the case is, now we've got to pull apart this spider web of whatever their workflow was. I mean, I've seen things so overcomplicated. I don't even... why is this project taking so long? Because I can't even figure out what this person was doing. None of this is logical to me. So, can you imagine?
The expert. You're the expert. If it's not logical to you, who's going to figure it out?
Exactly. And can you imagine for a new person coming in? I mean, I've actually seen people leave after starting newer positions because they felt so much stress and so much anxiety because they couldn't figure it out. They weren't properly, trained or given the chance to get it. So, it's a snowball effect when you have, not the right people in the right seat.
Good point. And I want to give a positive. We're focusing on the negative. We have actually a positive story in this realm on this one. We have an agency partner that we worked with you on. We brought you in, and this was a book of business story.
Yeah. This is a good size agency. And we see this so many times when we go to run the book of business, it's just inaccurate. The policies were there, but getting a true commission amount, how large their book of business and true revenue just wasn't clean. And working with Kite, within a matter of weeks, I would say 3, 4, 5 weeks, this agency went from something that was incomprehensible to having one of the cleanest books of business that could really be used as a management tool within a short period of time. And the turnaround was phenomenal. Because right person, right seat.
Right person, right seat. There was someone on the inside that took counsel from us, took counsel from Lauren, and really got it done, embraced it, and went with it.
Yeah. Heard other great things about some of your great clients too. So there's some other projects in play that are also going really well. Folks who just are so interested in it and they want to, follow through and really make an impact. And, we need more folks like that. Right.
And I'm going to throw a bonus one. We came in with 3. I've got kind of a star asterisk plus on this one. It is awareness. And by our agency partners who work with us, we're going to bring awareness to them, whether it's in their book of business, their financials, and then the awareness that, hey, we have a great relationship with Kite Technology. We're going to bring in Lauren. You talk to her. And we do a little sponsoring of Lauren talking to our agency partners. We have done that in the past where we'll tell them, hey, look, we feel this is important. We're going to sponsor this call. You have to be an agency partner with us for us to do that. But that is that important, the awareness. So I'm going to throw that one in too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I can't tell you how many folks are, will come into a call with me and they're interested in Kite Tech or even somebody, you guys, Agency CFO, and we don't know what we don't know. I keep joking. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that. I don't know what I don't know. Because it happens so often, agencies, they don't know what reports to run or how this affects, how what your employees are doing affects what's showing up on your financials or your reports, things like that. So absolutely. It's always good to have somebody come in and do an assessment or do a review of what is going on in your agency, because a lot of times you don't know. I mean, I've had folks that are accounting departments that say, oh yeah, everything's going fine in accounting. We don't have any challenges in accounting. I'm like, yeah, you do.
Yeah. Are you sure about that?
Did you know?
Did you know? So awareness. So, we have change management. We have had right person, right seat, all of the buzzwords, but they're buzzwords for a reason. The awareness. And now this is going to lead to the fourth is really maximizing and utilizing the systems you have.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, these agency management systems, that's the core, right? We have all of these other pieces of the puzzle that can be used, but if you don't get your agency management system right, if you're not running that efficiently and, establishing workflows and standards, holding people accountable for following those workflows and standards, then you're paying a whole lot of money for something that could be essentially just an expensive file cabinet. I've seen it before. Wait, you're not filling out applications? Well, what are you using this system for? So, things like agencies accounting, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, is that some of the larger agencies that are out there have so many issues in things like accounting, or, we've talked about the book of business. And it's all stemmed from inaccurate data being entered, not fully utilizing all of the areas of the system, not completing the information that needs to be completed, and not having that awareness of what is actually wrong. So that's absolutely important. And that's the core. It's cool to go out and get super awesome people like AgencyCFO to help
technology.
Right, to help you improve, but, and take things to the next level. But if you don't have that core process in place and you don't fix what's going on in your agency management system, then again, ultimately, you're going to have a lot of failure.
Mm-hmm. I'm always fascinated by the number of agencies we run into that will talk about the latest, coolest thing, add-on software that they just purchased, when we know their core is very weak. They're nowhere close to maximizing their core agency management system. And now they've added a software that has bad data to work with. And their success is, there's not going to be success.
And I think one of the shocking ones we came across this last year, or at least we were surprised, if not shocked. I'll go ahead and say the name. This agency used Applied Epic. That was their agency management system, and they were running QuickBooks.
Man.
And it's, applied accounting, you say it's one of the best out there.
Absolutely. That's all part of the reason it absolutely is. And we see this so many times, whether they're not using the accounting, or they're doing commission for their producers via spreadsheet, whatever.
That's another good one.
We see so many of them. There's a great system, and yet they don't utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get the same thing, not just in the accounting space, but also when it comes to things like renewals. We don't need spreadsheets and expiration reports anymore. There's a dashboard that can show you in your system, or an add-on that you can add to your system that would show you how to manage these things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, the you just like PTSD with me and the QuickBooks. Because our accounting team has done several of those, conversions. And a lot of times it's that they're kind of half using the system, but they're saying doing things in QuickBooks, or, half using something in policies and reporting, but it's like you said, we've got producer commissions in a separate spreadsheet. But understanding what the system can do is really important to creating more efficiency and better processes. And a lot of times folks say, well, this is working perfectly, we don't want to touch it. Well, but your agency management system should be your one source of truth. Why would you want to have
it's really good.
Yeah, your one source of truth.
Lauren, I love that. I never looked at it that way. And that is really the way to...
There's another hard reality from the financial viewpoint of all this, yes, it's a source of truth, but also the industry is forcing agencies to be more productive, to increase revenue per employee. You either become more efficient or essentially you're going to end up going out of business. It's not a choice anymore. It has to happen.
So you might as well use the technology that you have to have. You have to pretty much, well, I know there's agencies out there who are still on paper and not a agency management system. But for, I would say the majority, you have to have an agency management system. Maximize it. Use it.
Yeah.
It's there.
Absolutely. And there's so many options out there, but just making sure that you have that information all in one place is really important, and one of the things you mentioned earlier is all of the cool new technology coming out. I've heard where, we got an RPA, we got a bot to do things, but it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you didn't have a standardized procedure for the bot to even follow. So if you don't know what your agency is doing, if you don't know what your workflows and processes are, you can't fit something into, a garbage in, garbage out type situation. It just is not going to work. So, I fully support and encourage agencies to look for ways to maximize efficiency and things like that. But again, you got to start with the foundation. And the things that we've talked about today are so foundational, so simple. Like we just need to step back and look at the basics.
Yeah.
Like, let's get this slate clean first. Now we can grow and be efficient and really just be a powerhouse.
There we go. Absolutely. You've heard it from an expert voice. You've heard it from us before. Lauren, this is absolutely fantastic. I think we've given great tips, great insights. The idea is get the right people in the right seat, utilize your agency management system. You understand in your change process what are the roadblocks, the stumbling blocks, and let's remove them, because this is what's really going to drive your agencies forward and make you successful in the years to come and not make you want to pull out your hair. And
there's an opportunity that is right in front of the vast majority of agencies. And this is some of the things that really it's an opportunity. Think of it as something about, okay, we have this problem. Got a great opportunity to move your agency forward.
Excellent. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you listen to us, follow our podcast, reach out to Lauren at Kite Technology Group. She is and the whole team there, they are an incredible wealth of knowledge. They've helped a significant number of agency CFO clients at agency partners, is what we like to refer to all of you as. And truly, truly, we are grateful for this relationship. We really are, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren.
Absolutely. And we love you guys as well. We really appreciate working together. Always happy to send and help you create new agency partners too, because our ultimate goal is let's get our agencies to the next level.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. And as you always like to say,
be financially well.